Hello, you all, and Merry Christmas. I thought that for wrapping up of this year, I'd give you all some detail about my trip in Sauk City, Wisconsin. So I'll go ahead and get started. What I'd like to say is on February 2nd of 2021, it was on a Tuesday, about halfway during the middle of my day of work, I went ahead and got a head start driving towards Wisconsin, even though I didn't actually go to it. But what I did do is I drove from my workplace, which is in southwest Canton, to I drove all the way past Indiana and got through Illinois, went around Illinois, Chicago area, and I traveled that onto 355 north to Interstate 90 and took that west all the way to Rockford, Illinois, or Loves Park, Illinois, and I stayed at a hotel. The reason why I stayed at the hotel is because my supervisor at my workplace highly insisted on me that I stay at a hotel because he didn't want me to be all tired and such like that, so that was awfully nice of him. So I had to have approval of pay time off of work just to film a siren. So my workplace, just awesome. They allowed me to take the time off to just drive out of state just to film a siren. That's amazing. So anyways, I made it to the Holiday Inn Hotel that's in Loves Park, Illinois, that's located on Riverside. If any of you are familiar with that area, there happens to be a Tempest 135 siren, you know, the AC/DC version kind. There's a T135 AC/DC really close to the hotel that I was able to see, and I actually, when I saw it on Google Maps, I was like, oh, sweet! I'm right by a T135. So I got to be able to see that siren, and I did take some good photos of it with my good camera the following morning. So I stayed at the hotel. It was a good one. I stayed at the top floor for the night. How much did it cost? I have no idea because I don't remember, and I don't care either. But anyways, the following day, I got out of the hotel or checked out, and then I took some photos of the T135 across the street in basically a snowy field because there was a lot of snow on the ground. And then I began driving to Wisconsin. And then I made it into Wisconsin, and then I remember when I was driving there, the weather kind of, there was some parts of the Wisconsin where it basically almost looked like it socked in, like, you know, the fog, like it started to get pretty foggy, so it looked kind of creepy, but it wasn't like bad, you know, but I thought that was kind of cool and just, you know, creepy at the same time. But anyways, I kept on driving all the way to the Red Arrow in Sauk City, and then when I got there, I was like, I made it! I'm so happy. I was really happy. So then, when I made it to the siren, I had about an hour to spare before the siren went off. So what I did is I took some photos of the siren, and I texted my supervisor saying that I made it to the siren successfully. And then, because I had an hour to spare, I decided that I would drive a little bit further north to go to Prairie du Sac and take some photos of that Red Arrow siren, and I got some very good photos of that one too. And then after that, I went back to the Sauk City Red Arrow and kind of just waited, and then when it was close enough to the time, I got my camcorder ready, and then I pressed record, and then I got out of my car, put on my hearing protection, and then I started using my cell phone, as you clearly saw in the video that I just posted. And then I started filming and just waited for the siren to go off. And then once the siren go off, I knew it was showtime. Now, what I didn't expect, you notice that there were two clips on my cell phone video. The reason why is because here's what happened. When the siren activated the first time, I assumed that, and actually I almost was about to be disappointed. When the siren went off, because it only did like what was called the noon blast, I actually thought maybe that's all it was going to do. Because I was told that on the first Wednesday of the month at 12 o'clock noon, Sauk City, including a lot of other places in Wisconsin, test their sirens full 3 minutes. So that's what I wanted to get. I wanted to get the full 3-minute run. So when the siren went off and did the noon blast, I was like, okay, I drove all the way out here just for this short amount of time. So I was kind of little. I mean, I wasn't exactly. Maybe it was just just that, and then I was hoping the siren would go back off for the full 3-minute run. So I kind of was almost, as I was getting ready to head towards my car, I was kind of almost feel like I was going to have to let my supervisor know that this was kind of a slightly waste of time, but just before I could do that, the siren wound back up, and because my cell phone still had the camera function on, even though I wasn't recording, I immediately pressed record, and then boom, just managed to somehow got the wind up in time, or the rest of the wind up in time, and then I knew for a fact, like, yay! I was so happy. I was just, oh my gosh, I just was smiling, and then I, as you clearly saw, I checked to see if my camera inside my car was still filming, because I didn't want to, have that feeling like my camera just gave out, but luckily it was still filming. And then I started to walk underneath the siren while filming with my cell phone, and then I just had to touch the pole. I had to do that, and it definitely felt very shaky. It was definitely vibrating very well, so it had a nice feel to it. And when I was aiming up at the siren with my phone, I did lift my hearing protection off my left ear, and I could not even last a second. I couldn't last a second because it was way too loud. But when I did, I was like, whoa, that is very, very loud. So, Decot red arrows, they are definitely no joke. So, I was just so happy. And then, when the test was over, I'm just so glad that I was able to stand directly underneath it while it was winding down so I could get the full experience of the siren. And then I remember after after I was done filming and I got back to my car and I turned my camera off, I remember after I turned my camera off, I just exclaimed out loud saying, "Yeah! Woo! I was just so excited. I was just so happy. It's like, this is something I have never done in my lifetime. It was a big accomplishment. I was just so, so happy. I was just so... And then I actually remember, after that, I texted my work supervisor basically saying, like, woo! Woo! Because I was just, oh my gosh, I was so geeked. I was so happy. And then, to let him know that mission accomplished. And then I texted my father and my mother and let them know that because I told them beforehand that I was going to do this, and I told them, mission accomplished, and I was about ready to head back on home. So, and then after that, I started to make a run for it back home on my car because I wanted to try to. I didn't want to have to stay at another night, so I just kind of I wanted to see how far I could get. So, I was just so geeked, but, after I left, I stopped at the last exit in Wisconsin to get fuel to top off my car. And that got me enough, and I just barely made it, but I was able to make it all the way from the very last exit in Wisconsin all the way to Plymouth, Michigan. Plymouth, Michigan on my Chevy Malibu. I couldn't believe it. It's like, whoa. And by the time I got back into the state of Michigan from my Wisconsin trip, it was still, the sun was still basically out, but it was basically late dusk, or it was basically at dusk by the time I got to Michigan. So it appears, because it was actually 1 p.m. in Michigan, while for me, when I was filming the siren in Sauk City, it was 12 p.m. Wisconsin time. Michigan was already 1 hour ahead of me. So by the time I got back into Michigan, there was still a bit of daylight out, but of course it was getting darker, but I felt like, man, I'm doing so well. I might actually make it all the way. So then I continued on driving, and about by the time I got into the middle of Michigan or close to Battle Creek or something, that's basically when it became, nighttime, like completely nightfall. And then once I got to Wayne County, I was nearly out of gas. I thought I was actually going to, run out of gas. But luckily, I was able to make it to a gas station in time just to fill it up. But I had to, oh man, I almost took a chance. I was just so lucky that God was on my side. Thank God for him. And so I filled up and then continued on to my home. And then when I got home, I can't remember the time, but I think if I remember correctly, it was sometime maybe after 8 p.m. Eastern Time, or maybe 7:45 p.m. I don't remember the exact time, but I actually got home in a pretty good amount of time, because according to what it says on Google Maps, it says that it would take about 7.5 hours to get from Livonia to Sauk City in Wisconsin. Okay, so it basically felt just about that long. So I didn't really have much traffic issues. I was basically hauling ass on the freeway. I try not to go too fast, but I wanted to, I wanted to try to get home. So I did that, and I was able to upload the video on YouTube. I didn't want to upload my cell phone video because I only wanted to do my good video, but after seeing my cell phone video, I couldn't believe, man, I should have uploaded this as well, but I kind of felt, you know what? Maybe I'll wait till Christmas Day to upload this, and then just kind of give you guys a nice surprise. But I just thought I'd share with you all that. That was basically my experience with Wisconsin, and I got to admit, that was totally worth it. It was the best day of 2021. Because the bad virus that happened in 2020, I just felt like in 2021, because I kind of felt we were still in that, situation to where it didn't seem like anything was getting any better, that Sauk City trip just really boosted up my satisfaction, or just boosted my enthusiasm into thinking, you know what, there's hope. Despite what we're facing, there's hope. And, of course, later on, in about a couple months later, some of the restrictions were lifted in place. So because that too was also happening, I felt more satisfied that, you know what, this year, the only thing about this year that I found out better, that I thought was better than last year, was that the vaccine was out, and at the same time some of the restrictions were lifted. Not all of them, but just some of them. And I was able to accomplish, because here's the thing, I wanted to film the Decot Red Arrow that's in Sauk City, Wisconsin, because I was told it was built in the year 1921. Now, it wasn't the very first Decot Red Arrow siren installed, but it was it could perhaps be the second one to be installed. The first one to be installed was in Reedsburg, Wisconsin, but sometime in the 1950s, it got replaced by that 500 siren that used to be on top of the fire station. And now that siren's been removed, and luckily it's in possession of a siren enthusiast, so thank you for that. Thank you. The Decot Red Arrow that's in Sauk City, that's most likely the second one to be installed, but it's definitely the very first Decot Red Arrow siren to be built in 1921. So I wanted to get a video of the siren doing a full 3-minute run for its 100-year anniversary of it ever since being built, and because the Decot was known as the world's first double tone outdoor warning siren, which back then they called fire siren, because it was a dual tone siren, because technically the Decot Red Arrow was the first dual tone siren, and because the Sauk City just happens to be the very first one built, I was just lucky that I was able to film the oldest dual tone official outdoor warning siren ever. And I loved it. Oh my gosh. Man, February 3rd of 2021 will be a day I'll never forget. If only I had a time machine, I would so go back to that day and relive that day all over again. It was so worth it. I was just, oh, so happy. I loved that day. It's just awesome. But anyways, what else would I like to say about my trip? I kind of felt that this cell phone video was important, that I wanted to add to you as well. So I decided to do that, but I just thought, that's what I would like to describe for. And I really, really enjoyed it, and I'm hoping that in 2022 I'll get to achieve some more accomplishments as I have further plans of what I like to do, but some of these plans have not yet been officially been laid out yet, but the plan that I have for Sauk City, I've had that plan laid out, or I thought of that plan for a couple years beforehand because I wanted to experience that opportunity. I wasn't sure how it was going to happen, but I was so lucky that I was able to do that. And the reason why I chose to do it in February is because right around that time, I felt that because we were slow at my workplace, winter season is usually the slower time of the year, I didn't want to be a burden to my workplace just because I just wanted to film a siren sounding off, but I was reassured by my own supervisor that I was not going to be a burden. So I had to take his word for it. So luckily, there was no problems with that. He was very proud of me and, and my family. So I was just, most importantly though, I got to thank Jesus Christ for what he's done for me. If it wasn't for him and the blessings he gave me, this would not have been possible. So thank you, Lord Jesus Christ, and thank you just for allowing this to happen, even though it wasn't considered what he would want me to do, but he knew that because I enjoyed it, he allowed me to do it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, I believe I just about covered everything I want to think of. I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.